Hey guys, in this video we are going to study classification or disorder of thoughts. So disorder of thought has been classified into 4 parts. Disorder of stream, form, possession and content. So in disorder of stream of thought there is a disorder of tempo, disorder of continuity. In disorder of tempo there are 4 things, that is flight of ideas, retardation of thinking, circumstantialities, clang association. In disorder of continuity, there is preservation and thought blocking. In disorder of form of thought, there is tangentiality, derailment, neologism, desultory thoughts, word salad. So what we studied, stream of thought, form of thought. In now disorder of possession of thought. In it comes 2 things, thought alienation and obsession and compulsion. In thought alienation, there are 4 things, in thought insertion, thought withdrawal, thought broadcasting and thought echo. In obsession and compulsion, there are 2 things which is related to name itself, that is obsession and compulsion. In disorder of content of thought, there are phobias, religious preoccupations, ideas of hopelessness, ideas of worthlessness, antisocial urges, derealization, depersonalization and delusions. Now, in brief, what are if we study disorder of stream of thought, and that is disorder, first we read disorder of tempo, in which we read flight of ideas. It means continuous flow of rapid speech that jumps from one topic to another. Then comes retardation of thinking, slow speed of speech and prolonged latent period before a response. Circumstantialities, inclusion of irrelevant details and going on roundabout manner, but the thought ultimately reaches the answer. Clang association means jumping from word to another irrelevant rhythmic word. In continuity, there comes preservation and thought blocking. In preservation, there is the repetition of out of context words, phrases or ideas beyond the point of relevance. Thought blocking, in thought blocking, there is sudden disruption of thought or break in the flow of ideas. In disorder of form of thought, there comes tangentiality, which means in response to a question, the patient gives a reply that is appropriate to the general topic but does not answer the question exactly. The speech moves away from the actual answer. For example, if the doctor asks, "Have you had any trouble sleeping lately?" then the patient will speak, "I usually sleep in my bed, but now I am sleeping on the sofa." Derailment means a breakdown in both the, we are studying it under the heading of disorder of form of thought. Derailment means a breakdown in both the logical connections between ideas and the overall sense of goal-directedness. The words make sentences, but the sentences do not make sense. Some people just don't understand why I had breakfast in America during the First World War. Neologism means bringing in new words that do not exist. The world is not gooder for people like me. The word gooder, which is a new word, so bringing in new words that do not exist. Desultory thoughts means speech is grammatically correct, have certain unrelated ideas force their way in from time to time. My actual problem is that the people never understand me and my stomach feels like an empty bucket. Word salad means using a mixture of unintelligible, meaningless words and sentences. So these were disorder of form of thought. In form of thought, what are included? Tangentiality, derailment, neologism, desultory thoughts and word salad. Now we will study disorder of possession of thought, in which includes thought alienation. First part is thought alienation. In thought alienation, there are 3 parts: thought insertion, withdrawal, broadcasting, and thought echo. So what does it mean, thought insertion? Thoughts are being inserted into the patient's mind and they recognize them as being foreign and coming from without any stimulus. Example, I have repeated thoughts of killing my neighbors and I believe aliens are putting these ideas into my head at night. What does thought withdrawal means? Delusion that something or someone or something is removing one's mind and the patient has no power over this. Lately I am losing all my memories and I believe that government agents are stealing them when I go to sleep. Thought broadcasting means belief that one's thoughts are quietly escaping from one's mind and that other people might be able to access them with hear or see them, which means I believe my exact thoughts appear on the TV and the internet. I think I can broadcast them globally. These are also included. Insertion, withdrawal, and thought broadcasting are also included in the first rank symptoms of schizophrenia. Now comes thought echo. Patient hears the echo of his own thoughts in the form of voice after he has made the thought. Like, I thought of making a sandwich in the morning, and surprisingly, a voice from nowhere told me to make a sandwich out loud. Thought echo means patient hears the echo of his own thoughts in the form of voice after he has made the thought. Obsession and compulsions. We were studying it under the heading of disorder of possession of thought, which was divided into two parts: thought alienation and obsession and compulsion. And in thought alienation, it was further subdivided into four parts: thought insertion, withdrawal, broadcasting, and thought echo. And in obsession and compulsion, it was divided into two parts, that is obsession and compulsion. In obsession, recurrent and persistent thoughts, impulses, or images that causes distress to oneself, that is fear of dirt or contamination, fear of becoming ill, constant thoughts of certain number, need for symmetry or exactness, worry about whether someone has been done right, forbidden sexual or religious thoughts. These were some of the examples of obsessions. What comes under compulsions? First of all, what is compulsion? That is repeated behavior or actions that the person feels driven to perform in response to an obsession. That is washing hands, blinking eyes, counting items such as currency, checking to see if doors are locked, arranging items in a certain way, requiring constant approval from people around them. So, what came under compulsions? Washing hands, blinking eyes, counting items such as currency, checking to see if the doors are locked, arranging items in a certain way, requiring constant approval from people around them. So these came under disorder of possession of thought. Now we will see disorder of content of thought, which will be probably the last and will be probably the second last. So disorder of content of thought, in which undercomes phobias, religious preoccupation, ideas of hopelessness, antisocial urges, derealization, depersonalization, delusions. So, disorder of content of thought, in which comes phobias, persistent fear of an object or stimulus situation, typically disproportional to the actual danger posted, in which the sufferer goes to a great length in avoiding it. Example: acrenophobia, fear of spider; barophobia, fear of gravity; cynophobia, fear of dogs; hemophobia, fear of blood; nosocomophobia, fear of hospitals. What are the religious? Then comes religious preoccupations. Thoughts involving religious themes or subject matter. I get instructions from God on how to make my country great. Religious preoccupations. These came under disorder of content of thought. Content में क्या आएगा? Phobia आएगा, religious preoccupation, ideas of hopelessness, antisocial urges, derealization and depersonalization and delusions. So, coming back to ideas of hopelessness, thought of complete despair when the patient strongly believes that circumstances will never get better for him. Antisocial urges, thoughts of indulging in some behaviors or actions that harm or lack considerations for the well-being of others. Derealization means alteration in the perception or experience of external world that it seems unreal. The world and everything around is nothing but just a dream. Depersonalization means feeling as if one is disconnected from reality, being detached from one's own thoughts and one's own physical body. I sometimes drift into a dream-like state where I lose contact with my own self. What are delusions? Delusions are false fixed beliefs that are strongly held and unchangeable in the face of refuting evidence that are not consistent with a person's educational, social, and cultural background. The three main criteria for a belief to be considered as a delusion are certainty, held with complete confidence; incorrigibility, not changeable by proof to the contrary; impossibility or falsity of content, that is implausible, bizarre, or apparently untrue. What comes under disorder of perception? Illusion, hallucination, and pseudo-hallucination. What is illusion? Illusion means misinterpretation of real external stimuli. Hallucination is false sensory perception externally, and pseudo-hallucination is false sensory perception from within and having an insight. So, what are the examples of illusion and hallucination? Suppose there there is actually a rope on the floor, and a person misinterpret it as a snake, then that is illusion. And suppose if there is nothing like rope on the floor, and a person interprets as if a snake is on the floor in absence of rope on the floor, then that is hallucination. And there is one more called pseudo hallucination, which means false sensory perception from within and having an insight. That's all. Thank you. And if this video was informative, then do like and subscribe to my channel. That's it. Thank you.